I know you're heavily involved with the Players Association. I'm not sure that I imagine Matthew Pavlich ever becoming a coach. The Players Association matters to you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's and particularly the last little period with the collective bargaining agreement with the AFL, the new TV rights, and we've seen an enormous evolution since I've been in the game to now, but even more so the last 4 or 5 years, and having a seat at the table next to Demetrio and next to Fitzpatrick, and has been a really important part of the process for the greater players. But it's also been an enormous learning curve for me. So, it's been valuable for the development that I can see for later on in my life. But clearly there's a greater good, and that greater good is the legacy that we leave as current players to the players in the future.
When I made that observation that you see yourself as more than just a footballer, and I think you make that observation with due respect to everyone you play with. But beyond the game, we know that you've done a lot of study. Beyond the game, what do you think life is going to look like for you?
A bit more red wine to start with. I enjoy drinking red wine. You don't really get to consume alcohol that much in our sport. I joke. What I would like to do is continue to push and challenge myself. As I said previously, I've always liked to achieve and always liked to drive myself to greater things. But, with an intense view in the next period of my life that, hey, look, you're going to have a family, and I want to spend as much time with them as possible. So it's going to be a good balancing act and a good conversation with Lauren when we get to that stage of transitioning out of the AFL about, okay, what's going to give us the best capacity to live life as a family, but also what's going to give us the best capacity to achieve our goals.
Do you know what that job is that you'd like to do? Because you are accumulating a lot of professional wisdom. Yeah.
Well, I've sort of been rounding that out, as you mentioned, with university along the way. I did a Bachelor of Science, sort of human movement, some psychology stuff as an undergraduate. I'm now back doing an MBA, and a lot of the MBA units, except for some of the core financial ones, are human resource based, and a lot of it's the practical stuff that I've learned on the job for 14 years, 15 years. It's just rounding and fleshing out the theory and actually sort of helping problem solve by virtue of some of the theoretical background. So, look, I think I've always had an eye on it, and I've always been really mindful that this career and this industry can eat you up really quickly. The exact path, I'm yet to know.
And when football finishes, I'm sure there'll be sadness, there'll be ovation and acknowledgement. But will there be relief that Matthew Pavlich, to some extent, is Matthew Pavlich, private citizen, father, red wine drinker?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. There's a part of this life that I've chosen to live and this industry that I'm involved in that I could do without. But that said, the core elements of football and the core elements of being an athlete are the things I love: being competitive, being in a team environment, chasing a collective dream, all that sort of stuff. So I'm not sure if the word's relief, but I'll know the right time, because I'll know my body can't give any more, and I'll be absolutely satisfied that I've left nothing left in the tank. I'll be spent, and both mentally and physically. So I'll be really content to say thank you and goodbye.
Are you happy?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, I've got a fantastic wife, an adorable sort of 12-week-old girl, and I've been able to do the thing that I've always wanted to do and play AFL football, and I've been able to sustain that for a long time. And I was actually awarded life membership at the AFL last year, and I know my dad and I was talking about his brothers before they played for West Torrens in the SANFL, and how highly they regarded being a life member of their football club and a life member of the SANFL. And I probably didn't give the award of life membership to the AFL its due respect until I sort of reflected upon some of those conversations I've had in the past. And to have that longevity and durability in a pretty intense, analytical, high-pressured environment, I don't take for granted.
Yeah, some people flinch in professional sport when you use that phrase role model. I think perhaps it has sat better with you than it has with most.
Yeah, I think so. I understand. I understand because I grew up not only idolising my father, but idolising AFL players, Australian cricketers, golfers, tennis players. So I get it. Like I sort of, and in some sense, I welcome that because I know that not everyone's going to idolise their dad, and I know that not everyone's going to idolise their best mate. So, for the kid who's out there kicking the footy in the front yard with no other mates because of whatever reason, they need to look up to someone. They need something good in their life and, something to really hold on to. So why not that be an AFL athlete?
Great to talk to you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Geoff.